Hello students, today we are going to study the fourth chapter of history, that is Vedic Civilization. Before this chapter we have studied the third chapter, that is the Harappan Civilization. In Harappan Civilization we have studied about the Harappan Civilization, housing and town planning in Harappan Civilization, seals and pots of Harappan Civilization. We have studied the Great Bath, life in the Harappan civilization, and the trade in Harappan civilization. Okay student, now today we are going to study the Vedic civilization. Before moving forward, we will have a short introduction of Vedic period or Vedic civilization. See student, the Vedic period or Vedic age 1500 to 500 BCE is the period in the late Bronze Age, that is 3000 BCE, and early Iron Age of the history of India, when the Vedas were composed in the northern Indian subcontinent between the end of the urban Indus Valley civilization and a second urbanization which began in central Indo-Gangetic plain 600 BCE. Okay students, now see, the Vedas are liturgical texts which formed the basis of the influential Brahmanical ideology. Yes student, now here what do you mean by liturgical? Liturgical means ceremonial. For example, it is relating to or used for formal religious or public events. For example, coronation of king, marriage ceremony, etc. Okay student, so liturgical texts are related to the public ceremonies. For example, Ganesh Chaturthi, in Ganesh Chaturthi we perform the pujas or artis in a public place. So that is a liturgical ceremony. Okay student, the Vedas contain details of life during this period. Okay student, have you understood this much? Now before moving the Vedic literature, we will have a look on a short information about the civilization. See, the civilization that is based on Vedic literature is known as Vedic civilization. The Vedas are considered to be our earliest literature. The Vedas are composed by many sages or rishis. Some Vedic hymns were composed by women. Vedic literature is in Sanskrit. Vedic literature is rich and diverse. Student, see, the Vedic literature is very rich, as well as we see a variety of literature in Vedas. The Rigveda is considered to be the first text in Vedas. It is in the form of verses. Verses means what student? What do you mean by verses? Verses means it is in the form of poetry. There are 4 Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samveda and Atharva Veda. The Vedic texts are known as Samvita. Vid means to know. The term Veda derives from Vid. It means knowledge. The Vedas have been preserved through the oral tradition. The Vedas are called as Shruti. Then, what do you mean by Shruti student here? Shruti means lyrics. And what is heard? Students, now we are going to study the first text of Veda, that is Rigveda Samvita. It is an ancient Indian collection of Vedic Sanskrit hymns. It is one of the 4 sacred canonical texts or Shruti of Hinduism, known as the Vedas. Rigveda is the oldest known Vedic Sanskrit text. It is a collection of 10 books with 1028 hymns in about 10,600 verses. Each verse of the Veda is known as a Richa. So, the Veda consisting of Richas is called Rigveda. Richa means a verse composed to praise a deity. When a number of Richas are put together to praise a particular deity, the poetic composition is called a sukta. The Rigveda consists of many suktas composed to praise different deities. Now students, we will move forward with the second text of Vedas, that is Yajurveda Samvita. The period of Yajurveda Samvita was 1200 to 800 BCE. Here Yajur means worship and Veda means knowledge. It is the Veda primarily of prose mantras for worship rituals. An ancient Vedic Sanskrit text, it is a compilation of ritual offerings, formulas that were said by a priest while an individual performed ritual actions such as those before the yajna fire. Yajurveda is one of the 4 Vedas and one of the scriptures of Hinduism. It includes 1875 verses. Yes student, have you understood Yajurveda? Now we will study Samveda. The period of Samveda was 1200 to 1000 BCE. See student, Sam means song and Ved means knowledge. It is the Vedas of melodious and chants. It is an ancient Vedic Sanskrit text and a part of the scriptures of Hinduism. One of the 4 Vedas. It is the liturgical. Liturgical means what? As I told you before, it is public worship or ceremonial text which consists of 1549 verses. The Samveda provides guidance on singing Rigvedic verses to a set rhythm and tune at the time of yajna rites. The Samveda has contributed in a major way in laying the foundation of Indian music. Okay student, now we will study Atharva Veda. The period of Atharva Veda was 1000 to 900 BCE. It is the knowledge storehouse of Atharvans, the procedures for everyday life. The text is the 4th Veda but has been a late addition to the Vedic scriptures of Hinduism. The Atharva Veda is composed in Vedic Sanskrit and it is a collection of 730 hymns, about 6000 mantras, divided into 20 books. The Atharva Veda is named after Atharva Rishi. This Veda is different from the other 3 Vedas. It is more concerned with the many things in the day-to-day life of the people. It includes solution to adversities and diseases. It also provides information about medicinal herbs. The Atharva Veda provides guidance to a king about the way he should administer his kingdom. The Brahmana text, Aranyakas and Upanishads were written after the composition of Samhitas. They are also included in Vedic literature. Okay student, Have you understood now? Rigveda Samvita, Yajurveda Samvita, Samveda Samvita, Atharva Samvita. Okay, student. Now we are going to study in short the Brahmanas texts, Aranyakas and Upanishads. Okay. So let's start with Brahmanakas text. So let's study Brahmana text. The Brahmanas are Vedic Shruti works attached to the Samhitas of Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda and Atharva Vedas. Each Veda has one or more of its own Brahmanas, and each Brahmana is generally associated with a particular shakas or Vedic schools. They were composed to provide guidance on using Vedic mantras in yajna rituals. Each Veda has independent text called Brahmanas. Now, Aranyakas. Aranyakas consist of the reflection or thoughts expressed after meditating with deep concentration in forests or wilderness. The Aranyakas are concerned with accurate performance of yajna rites. Okay, student. Now the third one, that is Upanishads. The term Upanishad indicates knowledge acquired by sitting at the feet of teacher. Human beings have always wondered about events like life and death. It is not easy to find answer to them. The Upanishads discuss such serious and profound issues. The four Vedas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas and the Upanishads were composed over a period of 1500 years. During this long period, the Vedic civilization underwent many changes. The Vedic literature is an important source for the study of those changes and the day-to-day life in the Vedic period. So student, it is about the Vedas and the four Vedas in Vedic period. Okay, have you understood? With the four Vedas, we have studied Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads also, which are related to the four Vedas. Okay, in the next video, we are going to study about the family system and the day-to-day life of Vedic civilization. Okay, so here we have studied the four Vedas as well as the Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads. Okay student, have you understood? Very good. If you have liked this video, like it, share it to your friends, comment below the video, subscribe it and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will get current notification of new videos. Thank you. Be connected.